What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fields? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said were yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we shed before? Did you ever stop to notice the crying earth, the weeping shore? What have we done to the earth? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your holy son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said were yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice the crying earth, the weeping shore? I used to dream, I used to glance beyond the stars. Now I don't know where we are, but I know we've drifted far. Can we set him free?
Without a warning, without a sound, we woke up one morning to a world turned upside down. Everything changed in the blink of an eye, dealing with the unknown and trying to survive. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And we is all over in our new reality, where we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We've been through quite a battle, like none we've ever seen. We kept hoping we'd wake up to find out it was all a bad dream. But that day's never come. It'll be a while yet, with more obstacles to overcome and challenges to be met. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. We were locked down in our homes, surrounded by bad news every day, watching our lives as we knew it quickly fade away. And when this is all over in our new reality, when we gather together, will we still stay apart 6 feet? Will the music be playing like it did before? When this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more. And when this is all over, I'll treasure each day even more.
Confusion, I release pain of illusion. Yes, there's only one solution. Yeah, yeah. What I found is oh so simple. Deeper love in a temple, and I found it in the stillness of my soul. 'Cause all there is God.
is God.
All there is God.
All there is God.
All there
All there is God. God is all there is. Now I'm resting in the knowing that my good is overflowing, and my faith is ever growing. Yeah, yeah. Take me back to the beginning. Feel my spirit moving in me. Make me stronger, make me willing. Yeah.
All there is God.
This is God, yeah.
All there is God.
Oh, God. Everywhere you turn.
All there
All there is God. Love,
all there is God.
love, peace.
All there is peace.
Past all understanding. Truth.
All there is truth.
God.
All there is God.
All there is God.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Hello and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community and we believe that there are many paths to one divinity. If you would like to learn more about our multi-faith endeavors or support the pod financially, please go to www.peopleofdiversity.org. Stay tuned, we'll have more stuff at the end.
Our topic is courage. It's been a really good one, really good one. Last week we had Wiccan Oracle and Victor Morgado. Today we have Reverend Scott Donnet. He's going to be speaking on courage, and his musical guest is Donna Frost. Next week we have our Baha'i representative Dean Martineau, and his musical guest will be the Joy Band.
Yeah.
So let's tune in, pay attention, and we'll see you on the other side.
Hey, it's Donna Frost coming to you from my front porch in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and we are, today is the 3rd of July, but by the time you see this, it'll be a week later. So I hope you had a happy 4th of July. And I'm still got on my shirt that I wore today for my show at the Humane Society. It's my patriotic dog. Check it out. Cool, huh? And I got my little wristband on with Sumner County Humane Society on it. But today's message is about courage, and so this is something I'm very well versed in. I have been through a lot in my life. I'm going to write a book about it someday. Well, actually, I have been writing a book for over 10 years now, but I just haven't finished it, and someday I hope I do, and I hope I get it done. But we're faced with situations in life, and it takes a lot of bravery to take a stand for what you believe in. It takes a lot of courage to face the troubles that life gives you. Sometimes you just want to throw in the towel and give up, but it takes courage. You have to dig deep and stay strong and just face these things and, you know, fight the battle. You know, don't let things get the best of you. Have courage and have faith and dig deep, and you'll be all right. You know, at least it has been for me, and it's been hard. It's been different things like, you know, with losing family and you know, and people with illnesses and hard luck and bad marriage, and you know, and losing my mom and having COVID and different things. You know, just, we all have our troubles and trials. Every single one of us. No one is immune to that. So you just, like I said, have courage. And this first song I'm going to play for you is one that I wrote that was based on something I heard my dear friend, the late, great Carl Perkins, the rockabilly legend, say. And it was that it's not what you've lost, it's what's left and what you do with it. And so this is about what you got to do to make it through this world today. And I hope you like it. It's a struggle every day, trying to stay ahead, making sure my lights stay on and my family's fed, watching my bank account dwindle away. It's all I can do to survive another day. If there's a miracle, I sure could use one now. One thing is for certain, I'll get through somehow. Halfway what's left and what you do with it. And hope you like that. It's a lot of fun. We're recording that in the studio right now. And this next song is my anthem, and I play it everywhere I go. It's always the last song at all my shows everywhere, and it's one that's helped a lot of people that have been through a lot. And when my mama was alive, when we were going through hard times, my mother always said, you got to press on another day. And it says in the Bible, we'll press on another day if God allows it. So every day that you wake up and you got another day, press on. Just remember what my mama used to say. So after Mama died, I wrote this song, and it's my theme. And here we go. We'll see you next time.
Hello, my name is Reverend Scott Donnet, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about courage. I hope I'm going to be taking a slightly different track than the other folks did, just so we can have lots of different perspectives. I don't have a faith practice that I share out into the world, because I co-host a multi-faith program, and I think it's best I just keep that all quietly tucked away to myself and keep the exploration alive. However, I have had spiritual teachers, and I do have spiritual practices that I utilize to stay connected. And one of our speakers, Miss Lydia Junis, was one of those mentors for me for many years. And she recently passed away, and this past weekend I had an opportunity to go to her celebration of life. So I thought a little bit about, do I want to share about the courage that I found in this amazing woman, in this amazing teacher and my friend? Or do I want to share on, spiritual, emotional courage? And I think Miss Lydia would want me to speak on spiritual courage, right? On emotional courage, as opposed to fussing about her. However, I loved her dearly, so I'd like to fuss about her a couple of times throughout the process today. So, a couple of definitions. Courage, the willingness to confront and transcend fear, uncertainty, and vulnerability in the pursuit of personal growth, authenticity, and service to others, while embracing the complexities and mysteries of life. That was deep, wasn't it? I like that one. It took a little bit to get that one squared up. I like it. The most familiar definition that I've ever had about courage was that courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to confront and transcend it. I think most of us have heard that definition. When we apply it to the spiritual and the emotional, I think that's when it flushes out the characteristics in the first definition. And I'm going to dig into those a little bit. 4 pieces, actually. The first one being, vulnerability and imperfection, right? So how does vulnerability and imperfection serve to define or identify courage? Embracing vulnerability and imperfection. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to deeper connections and deeper relationships. We also acknowledge that we are not perfect and that there are areas of growth. This takes courage, as it requires us to be authentic and genuine in our interactions with others. So, I think Brené Brown is probably one of our best modern day coaches, guides in the realm of vulnerability. And she didn't really address it or attack it from an emotional or spiritual place, although I believe that's what she found, discovered, and what filled her cup as well. But she came from it from a very statistical place, a very analytical place, and found that vulnerability was an incredibly useful tool, both for mental health and for emotional health. I think also that it allows us to deepen and widen our spiritual health. So I think probably the most profound examples of vulnerability that I have experienced myself and witnessed in the world has actually been in the company of men, at men's groups recently, and as back in the 90s, healing my father wound, healing my mother wound, dealing with some of the deeper shadow aspects of who I was and who I am, has been incredibly powerful. It was the catharsis that drove me into really picking up the mission of changing the world one person at a time, helping people to unpack their shadow pieces, the parts of ourselves that we push down, deny, or perhaps are so traumatic that we block them out. They're inaccessible until down the road in life when we've created a foundation that's strong enough to rediscover those hidden memories and process them properly. So I think the other piece of vulnerability that I want to make a real clear distinction between, and that's this vulnerability versus productivity. So in our culture, we don't have time for vulnerability. It's not productive. When people are being vulnerable, they're not doing their job. They're not creating stuff in the world, and we as a culture call that unproductive. In the emotional and spiritual realm, vulnerability is a superpower. It's the touchstone to everything we are going to explore, unravel, rediscover, and process through to a clear and clean place in our lives where we're at choice and moving in and out of the wonder of life. So, courage. So, imperfection. Let me just touch on this piece, because I also think this is a really important part, and it dovetails with vulnerability so well. If we can stay humble in our walk with each other, meaning if my judgments and projections about my brothers and sisters are really just a projection of what's going on inside of me, am I willing then to use that, step into that imperfection and know that I haven't got it yet and that I'm still on this walk, and this place of vulnerability is going to be my key to the highway in owning those imperfections and using them to really dive deep into who I am and how I operate. Because who I am and how I operate really allows me to spend more time in bliss and joy, in service, than I spend in depression, anxiety, sadness, and regret. So it's not about arriving at some kind of place of perfection. It's having the courage to move through the stuff that stops us, right? And vulnerability, and accepting and owning and honoring the imperfection of the perfect imperfection. How's that? Of who we are and how we operate. So, number 2, confronting and integrating shadow elements. There's a catchword, right? That's buzzing around. Our shadow elements are the parts of ourselves that we may hide, deny, or push down, often due to fear or shame. By confronting and integrating these elements, we can become more whole and authentic individuals. This takes courage as it requires us to face our fears and limitations head on. Shadow work. Gosh, that's a buzzword right now, isn't it? Every time you pop onto Facebook, it's shadow this, shadow that. For $19.99, $99.99, for $999.99, I can help you through your shadow work. Shadow work was coined by Carl Jung. Really is talking about denied aspects of ourself, as the outline kind of laid out: shame, guilt, fear, deep trauma. These are the things that stop us from living our life in the fullest. They're the parts that act out in an incongruent manner at the worst moments, at the worst times, because we can no longer hold it down. We can no longer keep it under control, and it comes out in crazy in the worst moments. We're experiencing a frustration at a level 2, and we respond with a level 10 response. And it's completely incongruent, and that's our shadow acting out. And the more that happens, the more chaos we create, the more instability we create, and the more that it happens over and over. So, the importance of shadow work really becomes, are you ready to do your work? I'm not sure where the story came from. I think it's a collaboration of different things, a couple of mentors, a teacher, a dear friend. Talks about when shadow comes and knocks at the door. What we've done traditionally is we've quickly run around and shut off all the lights and turned everything off and got really, really quiet until it went away. Right? Until that memory, until that thought, until that intrusive, perhaps suicidal thought, or a self-harm thought, or some kind of OCD that has moved into operation within your life is now beginning to take over. And just to be able to step out of that is a powerful tool. So here's the suggestion, and here's what I did. Instead of shutting off all the lights, turning everything off, and sitting quietly until the thought, idea, until the knock at the door ceased and went away, I took a deep breath, got up, walked over the door, opened the door, and invited it in. right? Invited that memory, that intrusive thought, the shadow in. Now, not just invited it in, but offered it a seat across from me. Put on some water, made some tea so that we could have a chat. Because obviously something's going on here. If my shadow parts, if my denied, pushed down, ignored, or traumatized parts are knocking at the door, it's obviously time to have a chat. Now, by knocking at the door, it's the thoughts that we're having and or the intrusive aspects of our shadow parts and the effects that they're having on our life. That's knocking at the door. And it's not good enough just to open the door and let them in. You have to offer them a seat and make tea. What's making tea and having a seat? That's mirror work. That's journaling. That's seeing your therapist. That's going to your AA or NA meeting. That's going to a men's group, a women's group, talking to your best friend. Something, anything, but it's doing your work. And it's not about it's not just about identifying. It's really about going back and touching it and owning how it's affected your life, the ways that it's affected your life, and what you're going to do to make it different and new. And then, you know, the key part of this is once you've done the work, those shadow pieces become your superpowers. They become the magic that you wield in the world to help and serve others, which is what you want to be doing, which is part of what drives us, is this interconnectedness, this wanting, this desire to be a part of something greater than ourselves and to be of service to our fellow man. It's in all of us. We can deny it, stuff it down, and push it all down there with our shadow stuff, but it's there and it's a part of us. Third, standing up for oneself and others in the face of adversity. When we witness injustice or wrongdoing, we have a choice to make. We can stand up for what's right, even if it's difficult or unpopular. This takes courage, and it requires us to take a stand and potentially face opposition or criticism. This is a tough one. My wife has been helping me with this one. This one's about boundaries. And there's two pieces to boundaries, right? There's the first part of boundary, which is the negotiation piece, the part where we set the boundary. And that is typically a conversation, right? There's not typically a lot of volatility. It's a conversation about, you know, this is really how I'd like to see things going. It doesn't work for me when this happens. You know, I'd like for you to do this or that prior to walking in to my space. Those are boundaries. And again, those are done typically in a conversation, in a dialogue. The second part of boundaries, and I think the most important part, and the part that I've been working on, is the enforcement of that boundary. When someone does not honor that boundary, forgets about that boundary, or chooses not to respect it. How do you respond and react to that, right? Do you just let your boundaries get walked on, and therefore setting up a pattern with that particular person where your boundaries don't really matter and they can do whatever they want, and having a boundaryless or passive-aggressive relationship? or in my case, I would just come in hot when you didn't honor my boundary. I would come in aggressive, volatile, hot, assertive, and I'm already a big guy, which just added to the intimidation factor and really didn't serve for ongoing dialogue, for deepening of relationships, for conflict resolution. It really built more walls and kind of disintegrated relationship opportunities. So of late, I've been working on coming in neutral, coming in soft, coming in without a temperature, right? Not hot or cold, just neutral, just in a place of reminding the person, place, or thing about the boundary that we've established, set, and created, agreed upon, and now we're gonna honor this boundary. And if we're not going to honor the boundary, then we're going to have a deeper discussion about what that means for our relationship. And I think the biggest piece of that is communication, right? Because we can not get that right off the beginning by not being clear in our communication, by not setting clear and concise boundaries, by setting blurry boundaries, right? So when we do that boundary work, we really want to tighten that up and be on purpose with it, right? So that when it becomes time to back up those boundaries, it's kind of like it's a safe container, right? It's like, we've talked about this, remember? We agreed on this, remember? Part of the discussion was this, and this, and we decided we were going to do this, and that in order to address those issues, remember? So that we can have a full and complete dialogue. And that's another place where I personally struggle a little bit. One of my shadow parts really likes to sour communication, to make it soft and soggy as opposed to clear and concise. So I think that's a huge piece of how I want to operate in my life, to feed into the spiritual and emotional concept of courage. All right, number 4. Cultivating empathy, compassion, and understanding. When we approach others with empathy and compassion, we create a space for connection and healing. This takes courage, as it requires us to be present and engaged with others, even in difficult and challenging situations. For years, decades, I have listened to people who claimed to be empaths or to have empathic gifts fuss about how overwhelming those things are. So I have empathetic gifts. I am an empath. I think they're both the same thing, but folks say it in different ways. So however you arrive at, I can feel other people without them talking, without them sharing how they're feeling, I can feel other people. I think we're the most powerful people in the room at any given time. We know what everybody's feeling. It doesn't matter what's happening on the outside. We know what everyone is feeling. We also know where the saddest, most alone, most isolated, The place where love seems not to be is in any given room, and have the ability to go to that place and fill it with love. And that's what I mean by empaths are the most powerful people in the room. They have that secret knowledge of where love is needed. And if you simply go and drop love off there, it changes the room. It changes everything. It changes how everybody talks. It changes the interactions. It changes the choices and decisions that people make in that room, because they're in a place of open, because they're in a place of receptive, because they've felt heard and understood, and because you went to them and said, this is love. And they heard it, because that's what they were looking for. Compassion, kindness, understanding our brother, knowing that guy who is passionate over there about what he believes in, and it's the opposite of what I believe in, can I see him, witness him, and not make him bad? I'm not that good at that yet. I know that's the truth. And sometimes I get stuck in my judgments and my projections and my wanting and my fear, and it gets in the way. But when I am in that clear, clean, empathetic, open, compassionate, understanding place, it really pulls in all of these other pieces of courage, what it is, how it works, why it's important, how it fits into the choices and decisions that we make. What happens when we don't harness courage, and then what happens when we do. And I say harness courage because courage isn't a thing you're born with, it's a thing you cultivate and create within yourself. We just talked about four really core components and pieces of what creates and builds spiritual and emotional courage, and none of them had anything to do with my brawn, with my strength, with my volatility, with my violence, with my anger, with my ability to beat up the other guy, with my ability to survive. None of it was that. It was all about my ability to be open and honest and clearer and more understanding and more vulnerable, and really digging into how do I connect with this other person, place, or thing that's in my life right now, and really make that connection as deep as possible. And having the courage to do that. And the courage to build that, to manifest that, to create that. So, by embodying courage in these ways, we can develop greater resilience, authenticity, and wisdom. We can live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, and make positive impacts on our community and the world around us. With that, I hope you have an amazing day, a fantastic week, and please be forever groovy.
Thank you, Donna. You were great, as always. It's just so much fun watching you, and I'll be happy when you get down here again. So, but wait, just a couple of months. It's really hot. Good job, Scott.
Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. Philip Lupo and your tech team, awesome as always. Take our stuff and put it together and make it wonderful, and we appreciate you all so much. So if you need this kind of services out there in the world, either virtual or live, go to the address below and get hold of Philip, and they will fix you up. So past services are available on the People of Diversity Facebook group, Facebook page, but only for 30 days. After 30 days, they delete them. So we also have services on our YouTube channel, People of Diversity YouTube channel, and they will keep them hopefully forever. At least right now, that's what they say. So we have well over 200 videos on that YouTube channel, so check it out. You can search by topic, you can search by faith, you can watch this week's, you can watch it live. YouTube's the key to the highway. So you can get notifications about our services on Facebook or the YouTube channel by joining those, what do you call them? Not apps exactly.
Platforms.
Platforms, thank you, that's a good word. By joining those platforms, and you will get notifications. So
Ding.
on Sunday evenings we have another live broadcast. It's the morning service on Facebook Live. It's at 5:45. So if you miss the morning or you want to send somebody back to watch, we'll be there 5:45 on Sunday evening.
Our next live event at the Unitarian Universalist Friendship Fellowship Hall will be July 28th, featuring Shaman Shannon Plummer facilitating Belts of Power, a workshop, energy management system. This is interesting. This is an energy management system that anyone can use to help align with the God of their understanding and the divine truth within themselves. Love offering, greatly appreciated. That sounds like a powerful evening.
It's going to be a powerful
Come and
evening.
hang out. That's going to be, I'm all looking forward to it. That's exciting.
Good.
If you or personally, or you own a business and you would like to sponsor one of these live events, it's $50. That's what it costs us to rent for the evening. If you come to the event, we'll give you an opportunity to talk to everybody for a moment or two at the beginning of the event. And if you don't, or you want to remain anonymous, that's fine too. But we encourage folks to connect with us at newwaypod@gmail.com. That's newwaypod@gmail.com, and we will set that up for you.
Okay, our state today is Louisiana. A hurricane makes landfall in Louisiana on average of every 3 years. And Hurricane Katrina in 2005 eroded 73 square miles of Louisiana's coastline, causing $100 billion in damages.
Wow.
And I think the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, they've had probably more than that landfall. So let's pray for the safety and serenity for the people of Louisiana and say these words together. May peace prevail in Louisiana. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. Thank you. Next week we continue our series on courage with Baha'i Dean Martineau and the Joy Band, and I think that's going to be our last of the series. This will be number 10 on that series. So Dean's always great. So if you would like to help support the pod, we pay our speakers, we pay our musicians, we pay the tech team. Go to www.peopleofdiversity.org, and in the middle of the page is a donate button. Push that and help us out. Help us keep this thing running. So thank you. And we're going to close out with our energetic healing circle. So bring to your mind's eye anyone that you know personally or out there in the world that could use some healing, use some extra love, and put them in the center of this circle and put your energy out there and join it with ours and get some of it on you too. So thank you very much for being with us, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great week.
One power, one power, one power, invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love.